What's going on, y'all? Howdy do? I'm a minute or so early just because I've had some people waiting. Ain't no need the Jack Squad wait. Let's go on and do this here. Let's go on and do this here. Right? Let's go on and do this. How y'all doing? Who in here? Two peoples? Two peoples. Usually be one people. Two people say hey. What's going on? Today is sunny, y'all. It's been gloomy. I'm going to run some errands. I got to get my license. And I'm getting it renewed in the Carolinas, y'all. No more Ohio. I'm gonna be officially a Carolinian. I don't even know if that's the term what they say, but that's what I'm gonna be. Yeah. I've been not doing it. You know, when I first moved here, I got my license renewed in back in Ohio. I flew back and got it renewed in Ohio. But now that I'm here. Go on and get it in North Carolina. So, hey Kay. Hey Kay, good. So I'm getting my license. I'm gonna be an official North Carolinian. I don't know what all that entails, but it is what it is, right? I'm no longer. So for some, in my heart, some kind of way, I was holding on to my Ohio driver's license. That's why when I first moved here, like I said, flew back and went to Ohio, got it renewed, right? I think I moved here in January and I went back in February to get it renewed. And I ain't got no money for that, and I don't have time to do that, and forget it. Hey, Queen! So it is what it is. I'm getting ready to be an official North Carolinian. So when I finish, y'all, I'm going over to the DMV. Now the thing is, I have been calling them because I don't know if you could just walk in or rules are different down in the South, right? Then when I went online, it seemed like people were standing outside. I don't know if that was an old COVID picture. I don't know. So I'm going to see because I got to get it renewed. It's my birthday coming up. So in 2 weeks. So, yeah. Hey, Nick. So, yeah. Thank you. I'm feeling great today, y'all. I'm feeling great. Right? Uh, you know, ain't shit happened special, but I'm feeling great today. Sun shining for one. If I had money, I would have to live on the equator somewhere. I had to live with the sun just shining all the damn time. LA. Now LA it don't rain. That's what they say, right? And it's sunny. Every time watch a show or anything in LA, it's on sun always on high beam, right? It's just too far away. That's on the other side of the world, seem like to me. But sun is out today, so I'm cool. Sun is out. It's a good vibe. It's a good vibe. It's a country vibe. It's a good vibe. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day, y'all. Why y'all ain't tell me it was Valentine's Day? Y'all ain't tell me it was Valentine's Day. I forgot. I forgot it was Valentine's Day. I got to tell the peoples that it's Valentine's Day, y'all. I sure did forget. I did. Shit, I ain't got no Valentine, so I forgot. I forgot that it was Valentine's Day. Let me tell the peoples of the world, of the YouTube world, happy Valentine's Day. I did forget. I sure did. I sure did. But anyway, today, y'all, this narcissist dating relationship hour, we talking about the cycle of abandonment. And I was laying in my bed thinking because it happened to me so many times, right? The abandonment, right? Um, and I guess y'all would say, well, why would you stay with somebody? Because you just think they're gonna do better, it's gonna be right, and so on and so forth. All the reasons why women stay in any relationship. But the abandonment is definitely a cycle, right? And I'm saying that started from year one. Year one, right? The matter of fact, the first year and the first time he done it, because I wasn't used to stuff like that. First time he done it, I was like, okay, I guess it's over, right? And he knocked on my door and said, "You did this to me." He couldn't break wasn't clean like he wanted it to be, right? Or so I thought. Now that I know he's a narcissist, that's part of his cycle, right? That's part of his cycle. Um, to come and go. That's the narcissist cycle. So let me read y'all what the experts say. So the narcissist abandonment cycle, like I was getting ready to tell y'all, yeah. When I was laying in my bed, I was like, I need to talk about this because even though a lot of people will exhibit these traits that they have, but the thing is if they have all of them and if it's repetitive, right? And the cycle was one of them, right? The abandonment cycle was one of them. And they say it occurs in 6 stages. The first one is shame. They want you to feel like you did something wrong. Because I'm telling you, as smart as I am, I would be like, I'm gonna be better. What can I do? What am I missing? You reevaluating yourself, right? Because this Negro done told you and shamed you into thinking you ain't enough for him. But you picked me, sir. You picked me, right? The second one is they avoid you and then they leave. So you don't know. Like in my instance, I don't know if anybody else. In my instance, there was a few times when he would say, "I don't want to be with you," but it wouldn't be directly to my face, right? He would just be gone, and like ain't call, ain't answer the phone. You all right? I remember the first time I thought he was sick. Is he dead? What didn't happen, right? So they're not going to say. They're not going to say. I don't want you. Not all the time. Not in the beginnings, right? Now my ex told me that about 2 times that I remember. The first time it devastated me, right? That they avoid and they leave. So what he would do would just not answer his phone. And I'm like, wonder what's going on, what's happening, because I'm not cognizant of this is his pattern of behavior, right? Not the first couple times anyway, right? So he would just not answer me. And I remember one time I was really genuinely concerned, right? And thank you, Queen. And I went to where I thought he would be, and sure enough, and he came outside and looked at me like shit, like I was damn near about a stranger, right? Now everybody know me and they talking to me and all this, but his behavior towards me, they probably didn't notice, was odd, was a little different, right? I think that was the first time that I remember him that it hurt, right? He had did it before, I think. Went on by his way and then came back when he knocked on the door. But this time was I remember when it hurt. I can't tell you what year it was, but I remember that it hurted me. And I didn't have an understanding of, well, why you just say you don't want to be bothered or, say something, right? They don't really all the time say nothing. It's just abandonment. That's why it's better just going about their business. It's going about their business, right? I don't know if I told y'all this story is going to be in my book in detail. In my last book, because he's the third installment of my series is all about him and that relationship, those 10 plus years that I was with him. But he would, one time, and this is bad, and with being with him, let me preface this by saying, being with him is when I realized I had abandonment issues. I never knew that until I got with him, that it was something wrong, because when he would say, I'm not in love or I don't want you, it would hurt me like I can't even explain the pain that I would feel down in the inside. It wasn't nothing you could take a pill for, wasn't nothing you could get a shot for. It was just something, right? And I remember one time, and I probably told y'all this story because it was devastating to me, and I'll probably repeat it again. We were out, it was Christmas Eve, it was the holidays, and it might have been Christmas Eve, but really, really close to Christmas. And I love Christmas. I love the holidays. And I was decorating the house, and he would come in and be like, no, you need some more stuff. And he gave me about $500 to get some more decorations, some more peanuts, some more this, some more that, all of that, right? And I did all that, right? Went got all this and that and that and that. Everybody got a Christmas stocking at the mantelpiece. I'm traditional with it, right? And I always had big trees. I used to get live trees, right? So we were out one evening, and we were dancing. Slow dance, it's the holidays and with my baby, all is well with the world, right? And I didn't notice this then, but I noticed it later, that anytime I was having a good time, he would fuck the good time up before we got home. So anyway, but I didn't notice it this time. So we dancing and dancing. Now it's a slow song, the mood is set, love is in the air, holidays in the air, all is well, right? Jesus Christ is born. And he whispered in my ear and said, I don't want to be with you no more. Now, mind you, I done been shopping. He done gave me money. The house is full of everything. We out looking good with our clothes on, slow dancing. And he whispered in my ear, this is what I should have knew he was crazy then. I don't want to be with you no more. Well, what happened? And so in your mind, you wondering what happened. What the fuck happened, right? And the craziness of it all is, I ran off. I was in tears, right? I was in tears. That was one of the times he had me in tears, right? And I ran off the dance floor and went outside, probably to my car or something. And when he got out there, he was didn't understand why. This was the crazy part too. He didn't understand what was wrong with me. I'm telling you, it's the mind fuck, right? He didn't understand what was wrong with me. Um, and yeah, he did that. He did a lot of things, right? It was mental, and that I should have left him alone there, right? Uh, yeah, he did that. So what they do is, for the most part, though, they just go on about their business, and you have to figure out. And it may be, in my instance, might call him for a day or so, and then he'll answer the phone. And he did it to me another time. He said, "I don't want to be with you," some shit. Matter of fact, what he did was, he said, "I don't want to be with you." And I was having a good time. I was happy with myself. I was going to go to a party and all this. And he said, "I don't want to be with you, but you come get this $100." Ain't that the weirdest shit? Right, so now I'm at the party, all hurt and devastated and hurt, heartbroken, and all this. I couldn't even enjoy the party, which is what he would do. If I was having a good time, he would make sure that the good time would end. And it took me a few years to notice that's what was happening, right? But the abandonment is they just disappear. It ain't like you had an argument and you know why he ain't around. He would just disappear. Just one day wake up and be like, fuck this. That's why it's called a cycle. And then they return. That's in the cycle. They return, right? They return, and then they got promises. I'm gonna do this, this, and that. Now with my ex, would do all the things because I was a material girl, so you gotta be careful of that. So he would do all the things that I wanted to be done right away, with no hesitation, right? But then he returned. He knew you were so happy, joyous, and in love, and here comes the grin. Yeah, always. And it took me years to figure that out. I can't quite remember if it was year 5, 6, 7. I don't remember when I realized, like, every time we go somewhere, this nigga, and what y'all see is what y'all get. I'm always happy. People always like me. I always like people. I'm always having a good time. I don't meet no strangers, right? Child, every time we go somewhere. And, the thing was, his friends and family got really close to me. It wasn't like they was distant or, it's like, come on, hey, girl. It was always a good time with them people, right? And he would just disappear to hurt me. He would do, when I realized it, I know it had to been over 5 years. When I realized he would do things to hurt me, like to hurt me. He didn't put his hands on me, but he would do things to psychologically damage me and hurt me, right? As strong as I am, but I was a challenge. He gonna break me. You know how cowboys got that one horse that's wild all over the place, and you got to go get so and so to break them because they the only one can break them. That's what it's like, right? Because, I'm a strong individual, and I done been through a lot of adversity, a lot of bullshit. But this right here was something different, right? So then you got shame, they avoid you and they leave. And then they return, and with the promises. And so when they return, and this is part of the cycle, it says the spouse is hopeful. So when they return, and the way they return and the way they talk to you, you think, well, maybe it just might work, because that's what they convince you that it's going to be. And that don't make you stupid. It just make you maybe in love or just believing what they said. Or in my case, like, I really did not want to. I think I was in love. I ain't quite sure about that love thing. But I was a heavy light. But you don't want to start over. You just like, okay, I know this nigga, I know his family, I know his friends, my kids know we're going to work it out. Right? Your energetic and vivacious spirit just irked his nerve. Yeah. But it took me years to realize that this nigga want to break me. Like, what? Why do you want to do that? Right? And then the pattern repeats itself. So they shame you, they make you feel like it's your fault. He always would tell me that. It's your fault, this, that, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. When you was love bombing, I was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Now I ain't shit. You know that feeling? Yeah. And so it was like, you in the constant battle in your mind, like, what's going on here? What is going on? And then when they return, like I said, when they return, in my case, when he returned with all the promises, he could back the promises up. He never stopped giving me. Even when he broke me up, he going to give me some money, right? Or he going to buy this, he going to buy that. It was always, here you go. So you confused with, well, he got to love me because he did this. But it's all a tactic of control and manipulation and liking to see you broken. They want to break your spirit, right? Because when I look at the women that he messed with before and after, they were broken already. He didn't have much to go. You know what I'm saying? They were broken. They were minimal. They didn't want nothing. Cigarette or two. You know, he ain't gonna get them a whole pack. He can get you a couple loosies, right? He didn't, and you know, and it would have these outside women. Now that I know, these outside women would be confused and angry with me and thought that they could get the things that I got, especially after we got a house and all this stuff, cars and all this stuff. They thought that they was gonna be privy to that stuff. He only did that for me, right? And so it's always a state of confusion. You in a state of confusion. It's chaotic. It's chaotic, right? It's chaotic. You know, you liking somebody, you having a good time, they providing. You know, they're providing for you, and a lot of times you think, well, if he ain't hitting me, it ain't abuse, but it's psychological and emotional abuse, right? Verbal abuse. He didn't really verbally abuse, but he would say things. He was a master manipulator, so he would say stupid shit, right? But it was mostly mental and emotional, right? And like I said, once I got the grips of what was happening, I turned that thing around, right? Yeah, you know, 'cause I had a friend that he knew the other person, and he would tell me these things, right? You ain't gonna get her the whole pack, bro. She can't get the whole pack. You can give a couple loosies, but you know, he was used to dealing with broken women. You know, he was, and like y'all said, you know, here I come, all happy go lucky, you know, my spirit high. You know, I was a prime candidate for let's see if I can break her, right? And I you know, I bent a little bit because I was, you know, to be honest with y'all, this is my first relationship. I know I've said that before, real relationship. I was like, okay, this it for life. This is it, right? So I was doing a lot of bending, twisting, you know, because I want this to work. Love is blind. When you think it's love and it's really not, you need to elevate and find. Song by Eve, yeah. So, because that's what it was. But it took me years to realize the craziness in him. You know, it took me years to realize, okay, every time we go somewhere, he fake having fun, or he might be having fun, but he want to destroy my fun. Something's about he want to destroy my fun, right? And I did not have no understanding of that. Like, what's wrong with you? You know, but that's what they do, and it's a cycle, and it's repetitive, and they will repeat it over and over and over again. They'll repeat it over and over and over again until you get to the point of, okay, I've had enough of this. I've had enough of this. You know, it's because it's not making sense. And I'm a peaceful, you know, I like peace, right? I don't thrive in chaos like they do. I don't even like chaos. I don't even like arguing with people, right? I don't even like arguing because for me, an argument gonna lead to a physical altercation with me, right? I'm triggered by, it took me years to realize this too. I'm triggered by hollering. If you holler at me, I'm triggered by that. And that's because that lady I live with in the second foster home, she hollered and screamed all the time. That's what I deduced it to. And I just came to that conclusion maybe a few years ago. You know, that's why I'm like that, right? Because I don't, that shit triggers me and make me want to swing on you, right? So I don't argue with people. I don't argue. And when I realized all we was doing towards the end was arguing, I just stopped talking. And we ain't gonna even talk. You're invisible, you know? Hey, Lisa Marie, happy Valentine's Day to you too. So, you know, now here it says 7 signs you're caught in a narcissistic abandonment cycle, right? Because if you with them, you're going to get caught up in it, right? And I can only imagine a younger version of that. See, I had an older version, right? Here are the 7 signs you're caught in the cycle. Is it me? You always think that. And you know, as I'm telling you all these things, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm smarter than this shit. How did I get caught up in this, right? But I always was thinking, is it me? What can I do? That was based off what he would say to me, right? That would be based off what he would say to me. You know, and the gaslighting. You know, I ain't know nothing about no gaslighting. You say what you say and you mean what you mean, right? He would say one thing and then tell me another. Or do another. Or act like he didn't say what he said. Like it's always some chaos going on, right? So you thinking, is it you? The narcissist will twist the things you say, leaving you to wonder, am I the self-centered one or the problem? Am I the problem in the relationship? You know, I'm telling you that I went through this thing. When I tell y'all I went through this thing, right? And I'm amazed every time I read up on it or talk about it. I'm amazed that I came out on the other side all right. I'm amazed at that, right? Pay you to take. Yep, yep. He wanted me to be quiet. He did. But you picked me with the big mouth. You picked the big mouth girl, right? Um. Number two is, and I told y'all this before. Am I going crazy? You started thinking like, shit. Hold up, because you're in a constant state of what's going on. You're in a constant state. And I remember one time. This is down, way down in the years we had been in, and I told him, I said, "You like a hamster on a wheel. You just go round and round. You keep doing the same shit. Just keep doing the same shit over and over and over again, and think that you're gonna get a different result. That's stupid, you know." Um, but it was like that though. Am I going crazy? The narcissist will use your words against you and make you feel like you're going crazy. You sometimes might question your own memory of what happened because they're so good at convincing you that your memory is better than that their memory is better than yours. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They know it, and you don't know what you're talking about, right? And that used to frustrate me, especially the first 2, 3, 4 years. Then I realized, oh, he's just a liar. And once I realized that, it didn't bother me as much because I was like, oh, he's just a liar, right? I'm thinking he's just a liar, not thinking that he's trying to mind fuck me. I'm just thinking, oh, he's just a liar, right? Then they'll say, I didn't say that. That's another one that would get me. Because my memory is good, right? That would get me when he would say this, and that. And then when I would bring it back to him, like, what you talking about? I'm going to give y'all a prime example. This another time of abandonment, right? So it was wintertime, dead of winter, a lot of snow, Cleveland, Ohio. And I had got sick. And we was on a breakup. Another time, you break up, right? If your narcissist didn't have much money, no, I would not have. No. And I might have dated him a time or two, but it wouldn't have been into no relationship. And so I was sick, so he had came over there. And these are the things that would trip me out. So I'm sick. If you done broke up with me, I'm sick. You ain't got no business, don't even come over here. But I was sick, and wasn't nobody there, right? My son was in college, other sons, and wherever he lived. So I was in there by myself. So he came and brought me something to eat. He shoveled the whole driveway. I had a long driveway. He shoveled the whole, and it was a lot of snow. He shoveled the whole driveway. Now, mind you, this ain't nothing he really did when he was there, right? He shoveled the whole driveway. He might have gave me some money, bought some juice and all the stuff you do. And then he told me, this is the day. Ooh, it was the day before Valentine's Day, right? And he said, I'll be back tomorrow. Now, in my mind, we done broke up. But my baby done told me he'll be back tomorrow. He done brought me some money. He done brought me some food. He done brought me some medicine. He done shoveled the snow. That's my baby coming back, right? This might have been year 3 or 4. This was early on in it, right? And this was the day before Valentine's. So when Valentine's Day come, he don't call me or nothing. And I wait till maybe the middle of the day, maybe evening. And I said, well, where you at? Now, mind you, he told me. This might have been one of the first times that I paid attention that he would tell me one thing and do and act like he didn't say it. He told me, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm hanging on to this. Y'all know as women, we hanging on when we try to keep that relationship, right? I'm hanging on by a thread. So when I called him and I said, I thought you was coming over here. He said, what? Coming over there? I'm with my girl. Your girl? What motherfucking girl, right? When I tell you that was one of the most devastating statements he ever said to me, and I was vulnerable and I was sick, that was one of the most devastating things he said to me, right? Like he didn't tell me just 12 hours ago that he'll be back today, right? When I tell y'all I was sick already, I laid in that bed in a fetal position probably a couple days. He still feels abandoned, and yeah, he does. He does. I stayed in that position for a couple days, and I ain't gonna tell y'all no lie. I called him back to back to back to back to back. I called him like a maniac, right? Because I had no understanding of why he did that to me. Now, years down the road, I never forgot that. Years down the road, I would make him pay for that. Everything he did to me, I would make him pay. What I know now is you ain't got to do that. God gonna handle that, and he most definitely has. Y'all know about that in the book. But that hurt me bad. That was like somebody had shot me with a 357 or something, right? You told me I'll be back. Don't worry, babe. I'll be back. I'm bringing some more. Don't even worry about that. I'll see you tomorrow. Eat that. I got you tomorrow. And when tomorrow comes, you act like you ain't even said that to me. Right? And he kept saying, I'm with my girl. I'm thinking, a girl? Where you get a girl? Right? He said that to me. He said that to me. Mm-hmm. And I got a story to tell about that. I don't know if I'm going to tell it now, like who the girl was, right? But yeah, he told me to my face several times. I remember when we first got together. See, I should have ran in the first 30 days. We first got together, and I told y'all this before. He would say, make sure you call me, babe, because I'm not. I made a point. I'm not gonna be needy. I'm not gonna be that girl, right? Make sure you call me, babe. Call me. Let me know where you at. What you doing? Da 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 da. I'm thinking, yeah, he like me. And then as the time went on, he'd be like, why you calling me, nigga? You told me to do that, right? So they always switch it around on you, always. Then another point of seeing that you're with a narcissist in a abandonment cycle is, I'm wrong again. We all make mistakes in relationships and secure relationships. We need to apologize for our errors and miscommunications. But in narcissist abandonment cycles, you will need to accept all of the blame and responsibility for the situation. So when they leave you and they come back, you got to take the blame. You got to take the blame for what has happened. So if you only would be better, if you only would do that. I remember he would tell me that all the time. I used to be like, what the fuck? It took me about, I can't remember, y'all. It took me about 5, 6, 7 years. So I said, shit, it ain't me, it's you. Still not knowing he a narcissist. I'm just thinking he's just a psychopath. He's just a maniac, right? It took me some years to realize it ain't you, Jackie. It's him, right? You will always be the spouse who is wrong and needs to apologize. The longer the cycle continues, you might feel like you have to grovel because your apology isn't good enough. You want to beg for their friendship and beg for their attention and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. That just did something to me. But yeah. And they like it. And then while you're talking and trying to question and wonder why, what's happening, you know, how can we fix this? And you trying to have a heart-to-heart, grown folk conversation, they looking at you just like this. Blank face. Nothing matters. Give a fuck what you saying, right? Am I really jealous and overly sensitive? The narcissist will tell you you are too sensitive. You are so jealous. We're just friends. It's your imagination. He would do that to me all the time. All the time. And I ain't never been a jealous-spirited woman. You know, I done had a couple fights with not fights, not physical fights, but I almost had a fight with a woman or two back in the day about my man, you know, something I saw, but not just crazy jealous, like, who is that? What you doing? You know, I'm insecure. I wasn't like that, right? He would draw you into him, and then he would talk down to you. You wanted people to remember. And I did that. I would do that. I couldn't understand. I want to have it. Let's sit down and talk about it. Let's pray. Let's take it to the Lord. I didn't understand all this. I had no understanding of this, right? Like, why is this happening? Why are you like this? The narcissist will shift the blame, leaving you feeling like you have no reason to be suspicious. If you keep questioning them about the situation, they usually blow up and leave the setting. And that's what he would do. Every time. He would blow up, we have an argument, and he'd leave. He couldn't stay for the fight. He wouldn't stay. Once he got you riled, then he gonna go. Once he got you riled up, he gonna go. You will not have your questions answered or have a sense of security in this relationship. That is so true. Ain't answered no questions. He answered some questions for me one time, and that's just because he was trying to only get back in. Because you was innocent and caring, yeah. You will not, I said that already. Sometimes you may feel secure until something happens again. It's a false sense of security before the rug is pulled out from up under you. Oh my God, that's so true. Because the rug gonna get pulled. The only way the rug didn't get pulled for me, after a while, I stopped caring. Now it was about year 8, 7, 8, probably 8, right? It was like, shit, you know, I don't care, right? That's what happened. Do I have trust issues? Because the narcissist comes and goes in a relationship as they please. Damn, I wish I had knew all this shit, right? You will develop trust issues. You might not be sure when they had enough and will walk out again, or will tell you that you didn't say something or do something right. Right? Because he repeatedly did that to me. It's definitely a cycle. Why did I endure that shit? Why did I endure that? Right? And the only thing I can come up with is it was financial gain. Right? It was financial gain. I didn't have to struggle. I didn't have to want for shit. So as opposed to coming from where I got to struggle, work 2 jobs, hustle, do all type of shit. And mind you, now I had been to the penitentiary already, right? You know, so I like the easy, smooth selling lifestyle, right? So that's why I stayed, right? He wouldn't put his hands on me, you know what I'm saying? That's how I was thinking, right? Now, if I'd have knew what I know now, I wouldn't have never, no, that wouldn't have happened. I didn't know. The narcissist abandonment cycle may leave you feeling on edge when you have to walk on eggshells and watch everything you say not to upset your spouse. This creates a sense of insecurity and untrustworthiness, and that's where I was. I was insecure about our relationship, and I didn't trust him at all. And I was always on the lookout, always on the watch. Like, shit, who want to live like that? You always pay attention. I'm telling you, I had the what you call that, the password to his phone. He never knew it. I had it for years, right? Because I'm listening on the voicemails. I'm finding out shit, like all that shit crazy, right? Do you feel like something is just not right? Yeah. You try so hard to say and do what your partner wants, but it's never right. It ain't never enough. And I remember feeling like it don't matter what I do, it ain't gonna be enough for this nigga. It don't matter what I do. When I tell y'all I was a good girl, I was a good girl, right? It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And I realized that after some years, like, ain't nothing I could just, what you want? What is it you want? And when it got close to the end and he started cheating with the bum, I was like, shit, you ain't never liked me. You could have never liked me. You're exhausted from the mental gymnastics you have to perform to keep the narcissist happy. Your feelings are valid and need to be explored. You may need to seek out counseling or sort things out. You need to figure out if there's a cycle of narcissistic abandonment or something else that's causing these scenarios in the relationship. Mine was definitely the abandonment because he did it all the time. And he did it, and he did it quietly because I never told anybody. I never shared that with anybody. I'm sharing it now with y'all. I never told nobody that he was doing all this crazy shit. I'm telling you, my sister when I would do stuff to him to get back, my sister would be like, don't do him like that. Oh, sis, don't do that to him. She didn't know that motherfucker did all type of shit to me. This is about this period, probably year 7, 8, 9, or maybe 8, 9, 10. I was on some, I'm going to just say it, dude, I'm going to get you back. I was on that, right? Real heavy, real heavy. The narcissistic abandonment cycle occurs in 6 stages. So I just told y'all the stages. The narcissist wants to be seen as unique and special. If you touch on any insecurity or vulnerability, or they perceive that you are shaming them or not looking up to them in any way, they want to run away and avoid it or turn the shame around in the form of attacks against you. And so now when I look back on it, right, when he couldn't break me, a lot of times when he couldn't break me or shit didn't go his way is when he would leave. That's when he would leave, right? Disappear, not answer the phone and all that goofy shit, right? And I remember one time he came back. This was another one of the comebacks because he always came back. He can come back now if I let him. He told me, and I was so stupid. I don't know why I was even like this, right? He told me that, he explained to me what he did. It was a holiday, right? Maybe Thanksgiving, another holiday. And he knew I'm big on holidays, right? With my family and stuff like that. It was a holiday and we was broke up again, right? And he sat down with his legs crossed and proceeded to tell me how wonderful his holiday was with whoever this girlfriend was, right? And I, with my stupid self, started asking questions. Like, why the fuck was I asking questions? You know what I'm saying? But he got a kick out of that. He got a real kick out of all of that. He got a real kick out of hurting me. That's why I would hurt him back and didn't care. He got a real kick out of hurting me and watching my reaction to the hurt, right? Watching my reaction to the hurt. And I told y'all one time I was so hurt. I was devastated. We was in the car and he said some goofy shit to me. He might have broke up with me then, right? And I was by my mother's job and I went to her job and told her. And she said, you done gave him too much of your power. You got to get your power back. Now, I swear to God, I didn't understand that shit at that moment. That is not what I came to hear. I'm crying, woman. I don't want to hear that. But I did. I got it. I did get it. He was a complete, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, he was. You know what I'm saying? But he would cover it up because he looked nice. He dressed nice. He appeared to talk nice. And he always, I had no needs and wants. The only need I had or want I had was to be loved. That's what I needed and wanted, to be loved by him, right? So I'm trying to be the best I can be, so I can get this imaginary love that I see other people with, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me see. Hold on. Uh, Sometimes, and he would do this. Damn, he would do this. I'm telling you, he was textbook. Sometimes they'll go to an ex's house to be intentionally hurtful and make you regret your behavior. Right? Let me read what this say right here. The narcissist moves into the next stage of the cycle where narcissistic tendencies are to avoid and leave. They won't discuss how they feel about the situation. Instead, they'll avoid conflict altogether, even if it means avoiding you. Right? This could involve disappearing without telling their partner where they're going. He did that all the time. Giving their partner the silent treatment or going to a friend's house for hours or even days. And he would definitely do that. He would go home or he'd be somewhere else. And that's what he would be doing. When I tell you and show you you got to believe him. You got to believe him. But for whatever reason, I think in my mind, because he was so good to me financially, now you got to remember, I had had a bout of hard times. I still had one son left. I had been to the penitentiary. It was hard for me to get jobs that was in my profession. That was over with, right? So I'm working menial jobs. I'm struggling day by day. I come out of that period of darkness and depression, right? And soon when I had come up out of it, then there was he, right? So I'm thinking this is a present from God. This is a gift from the Lord, right? And then when you come, like I said, the love bombing, he did all that and he would continue to do that. He continued to do that, right? It was never nothing small. Like, for instance, if he go, we at the gas station, we at the store, and I sit in the car and he say, you want something? I'm like, yeah, give me a Milky Way, whatever, right? He ain't going to come out with the regular Milky Way. He going to come out with the big long one or the bag of them. Everything was always big. Everything was always big. Everything was always big, right? So in that aspect, who don't want that? Okay, this nigga a little odd sometime. All right, you just overlook it, right? Because you think it's just odd at first till you realize it's crazy. That's what it was, y'all. That's what it was. The more I read, and the more sometimes I be at night reading stuff, right? And it's so textbook. I'm like, damn, Jackie, as smart as you is, you let that shit happen to you. And he manipulated. It's great. He knew I was money hungry and all that stuff. He knew what I had been through and all of that, right? And plus I had a son. He was dressing my son like I was struggling to dress my son the way he needed to be dressed, right? It was no problem for him. He showed him how to be a man. He showed him how to shine his shoes. He showed him what type of coats to wear. So it was more to it than just me. You know what I'm saying? It was more to it than just me, right? Yeah. He treated my son quite well. It wasn't no difference. That's why in this episode, this situation with Monique and her son, I don't know how whatever the divide is and the separation is, I don't know how you allow a man to do that, right? I've never allowed that to happen with my kids. Matter of fact, my kids come before you, right? Now, if I was to get married, of course, it couldn't be like that. But especially raising my kids, I don't know how that so you allow that to happen like that. I don't know how you allow that to happen like that. But you know, a lot of times love is blind, like I just said. Maybe she didn't see it. I don't know. I just think your kids is that's a different type of bond, right? That's a different type of thing, you know. Um, I don't know how you do that, right? But he was when a man treats your child good, you like that, you know, that draws you more to him, you know. Yeah, your daughter always first, yeah. So you know, I don't know how her mind allowed that to happen like that. Yeah, yeah, he did everything for him, everything, you know. And my son was a growing boy. He was an athlete. He was in sports. Shit costs money. You know, I remember struggling to go before I got with him. Right before I got with him, struggling to go to get some football cleats. Got to figure that money out. You know, it was always something. You know, he was an athlete, so there you got to have money for this, money for that, money for this, and you know, some games you're gonna have to pay to go in. You know, all this shit, right? And I had been doing all that, right? I had about 3, 4 boyfriends before I got with him. I need somebody to do this, somebody to do that, somebody to do this, somebody to do that, right? With him, it was all in one, you know? So that's where I was coming from. You know, that's where I was coming from. Like, I'm tired of this struggle bullshit, right? You know, after I had, you know, lost my license and all this shit that had happened to me, I'm like, shit, I'm tired. I ain't, you know. I ain't get ready to go for all with this struggle shit. Fuck this, right? And so that's what it was. Because I had a period, maybe a year or two, and shit was not good. You know what I'm saying? So he was, you know, it was welcome. Shit. It was like Santa Claus every day. Who don't want that? Who don't want that? It'd be simple things like we going out to eat. Like we go out to eat. He ain't gonna just get this. He gonna get this, and that. No, y'all want to get all this shit. Get all that. Get this, and that. Like, who don't want that? After you'd have been starving. Was your children aware? No, they were not aware. They was not aware. No, they weren't aware. They're gonna be shocked when they read the book and see it down. Now they wasn't aware because he would not do anything, especially in front of my older son. He respected. He wanted. So you know, narcissists want you to think good of them, right? He didn't give a fuck how I thought, but he wanted my kids, my family, my sister, and them to think good of him, and they did. And they did until they found out what was going on. Yeah, it was a lesson. Yeah, they did. So he wouldn't do anything. He wouldn't do anything. We didn't even argue. Maybe towards the end we did. We did argue towards the end, but I remember my youngest son jacked him up a little bit, right? But you know, he had feelings for him. Now, my older son did not like him after a while. He might have never liked him because he didn't like nobody. But I remember towards the end, he would say shit to him in the house, you know, just say some old, blurt out some crazy shit, right? So all that stuff that I went through, nobody didn't see it. Nobody didn't see it. His friends saw it and his family, but mine didn't see it. Now, he would admit, no, mine didn't see it because he wanted them to think good of him. So they never saw it. Yeah, he saw through him, yeah. And my son never liked nobody anyway. My oldest, that's the one I told you that's like Monique's son. Shit, he ain't like his little sister. Shit, no, he don't like that nigga. Yeah, so, you know, and he was a gorilla, so he wasn't all that, he wouldn't. So that's why I was never fearful. I was never fearful of him. I just couldn't understand him. I was never fearful. He didn't intimidate me and no shit like that, right? But he would just do things to hurt me all the time. He would psychologically hurt me all the time, right? And I couldn't understand that. Like, and then you would follow it up with a nicety. You would follow it up with something nice, you know. Or he would call me and be like, "Yeah, I bought you some tickets to the such and such," you know, because after 5, 6, 7 years was the time we didn't do shit together. But he would make sure I did it. He knew what I like to do, and so on and so forth, right? Or if he around some people, they be like, "We going to such and such." You like, "I already paid for your ticket," you know, da da da, you know, stuff like that, right? So who don't want that? So I was like, okay, maybe this is what relationships is like. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? This how people survive 20, 30, 40 years with a nigga. They go through a period. And that's what I thought this was, a period, right? Bad spell. You know, the ups and the downs. I thought this was the down, right? I really didn't know, y'all. I really didn't know. You know, because I had never been with nobody that long. I never gave anybody that much, you know. I never gave nobody that before. You know, the one person I did, it was off and on, and I was younger in my 20s, and he got on drugs, so he had an excuse. So, and you know, I just never gave nobody that after him. So when I get to this person 20 years later, I'm like, shit, this is it. Okay, well, I just gotta take my time with bruh. You know, just gotta take my time with him until I got to realizing he was not going to change. He didn't want to change, and he was cool with the way he was. Right? He was cool with that. I was like, oh shit, this nigga crazy for real. So, you know, that's how that went, right? Um, it says when the narcissist does come back, you can expect no apologies or an explanation of their behavior. The narcissist will blame you for forcing them to leave. It will be your fault. I'm telling you, he always would say stuff like, "You, if you had to did this, if you had to did that, if you had to did this, if you had to did that." And he was cheat. You know, he would cheat, right? I'm trying to figure out. Like, I wasn't missing a beat on my duties as a woman, right? I don't know what you want. What is it that you want? I couldn't understand. You know, that's when we would start to have them conversations, and he couldn't have it. And I remember this. It was one time I tried to have a conversation at his house, and he was so uncomfortable because I had him cornered, right? So you can't run. Where you going to run to? We at your house, right? He was at my house, he would run. At his house, I had him cornered, right? Where you going to run to? And he was so uncomfortable. Y'all, his body, his face was turning and twitching and distorting, right? He was so uncomfortable. He couldn't have that conversation. Couldn't have that conversation, you know. Yeah, couldn't have that conversation. He couldn't explain to me why he doing what he doing. Couldn't. He couldn't. I remember, like I told you, I asked him, well, why did you tell that lie? And he'd be like, I don't know. You know, I was looking at him so stupid. He was like, I don't know. You know, he was like, I'm a habitual liar. I think he told me that several times, right? He didn't hurt you with his fist, but he beat you in your mind and emotions. Yeah. Before he started? No, not when he started. Not when we started, he wasn't aware of that. And I'm trying to think. Not when we started. I don't even know if I ever told him the deal. Let me think. I don't know. I probably did at some point, because that ain't nothing I really like tell people, right? But I know me and my mother probably had fallen out or something, and he didn't understand that, so I might have told him then. You know, that ain't nothing I go in telling people like a dudes, because I learned a long time ago they'll play that against you, right? You know, they'll use that against you. So no, I didn't tell them that initially. I'm sure I did at some point, probably not to a big degree, but I don't know. I probably told bits and pieces, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Because that ain't nothing that what I say to y'all is the most I've ever said in my whole life to anybody, right? So, and that's because it's time to tell that shit and get it off my chest. But no, I don't. You know, I might have told him I was a foster child. You know, I might have said some shit like that. But the deep down shit, no, I don't think I probably did. Because I realized after a while he had no heart. You know. So ain't no need to pour my heart out to this nigga, because I did it before. First year, 2, 3, 4, I tried to pour my heart. It was to no avail, you know. So a lot, I literally suffered in silence with him, for real, right? So it, you know, with no need of. And when I think about it now, like this is why I'm saying, I had a conversation with a guy yesterday that liked me, right? And I'm real blunt and straightforward now, because I'm too old to play some motherfucking games with your old ass. This is what I want. This is what must be done. If you don't want to do it, fine. I ain't mad at you. But you just can't fool with me. You know, I'm not going to fool with you. And if it means I'll be by myself the rest of my life, that's what it means, because I'm not taking nothing less, because I went through what I went through with this man. I ain't doing that no more. You going to come correct like I'm correct, or don't come at all. And I ain't mad. But I'm telling you what I require, what my requirements are. What my requirements are. And if you can't fulfill them, I'm not mad. But you just have to leave me alone. I ain't fooling with you. I'm going to leave you alone. You know, that's just where I'm at with that. I believe in love. I believe in black love. I believe in relationship. You know, people say it's up and down. I believe it can be more up than down. I ain't getting ready to keep arguing with nobody. I'm not. Mm-mm. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to be physical with you. You're not going to disrespect me. I'm not going to disrespect you. You're going to be loyal to me because I'm going to be loyal to you. And I think at my big age, if a nigga still, and they still out there cheating and lying. I believe they cheat and lie till their dick stop working. You know, unless they just say, okay, I'm going to be faithful to you. But I believe they cheat and lie till their dick stop working. And then they sit down somewhere. Right? So, you know, it's because I went through that, And it's not as traumatic to me as it would be to somebody else, probably because I done been through other shit before him, right? But I know people, like I said, I know people who've been with narcissists and they're devastated. They're not looking like they can't recover from the shit, right? Maybe I ain't recovered shit, I don't know. But, I know people who are not recovering. No, I never suggested therapy because I wasn't, got to remember, I wasn't into therapy. I was against therapy until last year when I was in Atlanta. How did he find? I don't know. I don't remember. Probably me and my mama fell out and I wasn't talking to her. He didn't understand why I wasn't talking to her, something like that. I don't know. I don't know. But, no, he, wasn't therapy, wasn't in the hell, no. I couldn't get him to go to church. He wasn't about to do no therapy. I never even thought about it because I wasn't into therapy, right? I didn't think I had it. I didn't think therapy, not that I don't believe in therapy, I just thought that it couldn't help me. That's why I went into it. I was like, it just couldn't help me. And so, that wasn't like an option for me. Even though I know people was going, my mother even suggested I pay for it, and my sister had went. Come to find out later on, another one of my sisters went. People, I'm real open about my shit, right? And a lot of times, people that's in my circle, they quiet about what they went through, like it's a shame or something. Like I told y'all about my therapy experience. You know what I'm saying? I ain't ashamed too much of shit, right? I could be private and keep some shit to myself, but it ain't because I'm ashamed of it. It's just shit I ain't talking about it, right? So therapy was just not. I didn't want therapy for myself, let alone we going to couples therapy. No, and plus he was not a rational person. Once you realize somebody don't think their thought process is different than yours, all bets is off anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I was just in it to be in it. Once year 8 came around, pretty sure it was 8, I was just in it to be in it. Like, I don't care what you do, don't care what I do, right? I ain't doing shit no way. But then when I did start dating, you can't say nothing. You better not say nothing. You done cheated all through the years and all that shit. Come and go as you please, do what you want. So I started doing what I want when I wanted to. I hadn't really been doing that, but when I started seeing a guy too, if I want to spend the night, I'm gonna spend the night. And you better not say shit. And he didn't say shit. So, it started to really be warfare up in that house, right? And once my son left college, it started to really be warfare up in there. Very inside, yeah. It started to be really warfare up in there, right? And I'm a formidable opponent, right? Because now that I know what we own, okay, let's go. Put the gloves on, nigga. But then after a while, I was like, this ain't even no way to live. This ain't no way to live. You got to go, sir. And I didn't. Once he lost his apartment because he was so stupid and didn't know how to get another one. And see, I didn't know till the end of the relationship that a lot of things he was doing, his sisters did for him. Yeah, they out here like that. His sisters did for him. So when I was like, how'd you get your apartment? He didn't know shit. I realized he didn't know shit towards the end. It's like, how did you do this? How did you do that? His sister would do it for him. They would do it for him. Right? And then in the process of me being with him, I would do things for him too, not knowing that he couldn't do it. I'm just doing it because I'm his woman. Towards the end, I realized the nigga couldn't do it. That's what that was. He couldn't. He didn't know how. No, because I'm too. I'm an empath. First of all, I feel the emotions, and that's another reason they say narcissists seek empaths, right? That's what they seek because we so the way we are. We take on feelings. We care about you. We all of that shit. So that's who they like. Narcissists like empaths. I'm gonna talk about that later on. That's what they like, empaths, right? They like people like me. That's what they like. And then they like suck your buses. They suck all your energy out, right? They suck your energy out. Till they deplete you. Now you're broken. And he just couldn't break me. That's all. He just couldn't break me. I guess my powers was too powerful, right? I'm down with the Lord. I'm on the Lord's program, so he couldn't break me. He bit me up twisted me up a couple times or two, right? But he just couldn't break me. I just didn't fold like that, I just didn't fold, and we was at war. We was literally at war. It was literally war to roses in their house, for real. And when he got around his people or anybody, he would not do that. And when I got around folks, I followed his lead. I ain't gonna do it either. But I would clown a little bit in front of his friends. I would. I wouldn't do it in front of his family, I don't think. But I would in front of his friends. If he could, I was like, how your mama be, wherever you clown at, that's where I'm clown at. I was like that. So if you clown in front of him, I'm a clown in front of him too. Right? So that ain't good, right? Yeah, her shit was all crazy, y'all. I've been thinking about some shit now. It's just like yesterday. Like, I can relive that shit, right? Like, why did you stay in that? Why? It's all about money. All money ain't good money, y'all. Energy vampires, yeah. All money ain't good money. That's for damn sure, right? Like I said, if I had been a lesser woman, if I had been weaker in any kind of way, he'd have told me up. Real, he'd have told me up. I had low self-esteem or some shit. Wasn't as confident as I am. Didn't believe. See, me, as opposed to other women, I ain't tooting my horn, but I am. I done came up out of some shit, right? So I know how to come up out of some shit when it ain't right. I know when I'm ready, I'm coming up out of it, right? And the only way you could come up out of it is with the help of God or whoever you believe in. I believe in God, right? So I relied heavily on the Word and God and talking to the Lord and the Holy Spirit and all that shit going through these times. That's the only way. I haven't got through any type of adversity or bullshit in my life. So I had my tools. You know what I'm saying? I had my tools. No, he was just a narcissist. He just crazy like that. See, he had some a crazy bout in his life. I believe he had got. This is what I believe. It's gonna be in my book. He had a bad episode happen to him where he almost got beat to death, and I really think he had brain damage. Now, was that the reason why he was a narcissist, or was he a narcissist before that? I don't know. But he had some damage to his brain. He had been in a coma and all shit like that, and that could have turned him. I don't know. I think a lot of things in his life made him the way that he is. Just for, like anybody, you know what I'm saying? I just think that that's what happened to him. Shit happened in life like it do to all of us, some worse than others. And if you don't seek the help, or for me, it's I always took it to God, right? People go get therapy and all that. That's another reason why they go therapy. Like, I'm gonna get this shit to the Lord. This shit, Lord, the only one to handle this shit, right? But if you don't seek help from somebody, you're gonna be messed up. You're gonna be messed up, right? And you're gonna stay messed up. And some people are messed up and don't know that they're messed up, right? They don't know. So if you don't know that you messed up, you don't know to get no help. If this is your pattern, this is what you've been doing. If you're a narcissist and this is your pattern, this is what you've been doing, you don't know that to get help. You just go in because they don't care, because they do what they want to do. All they care about is themselves. I don't know. I just got tired of the games and me psychologically damaging his ass and fighting with him mentally. I got tired of that shit. I was like, because I wanted to be, I had to start dating. I told you I wanted to be with somebody, and ain't nobody for real going to believe you got a man in your house and y'all ain't having sex. He don't sleep in your bed. Nobody's gonna believe that, right? And he was content with staying, living like we was living forever. He was cool with that. And so I had to, I literally, y'all, had to pack his shit up myself. He wouldn't do it. Had to pack it up myself. I would try to fill out applications for him, or I would get applications for apartments for him. And I told y'all this before. I got the application sat on the table, on the living room table for a long time. Like, nigga, fill out the applications, right? Because he had been so good to me and my kids. I didn't want to just put him out. I wanted to help him out, right? Again, being an empath, and he would never do it. They might have sat on there 2-3 weeks, a month, I don't know. So one day I brought him to the dining room table and I said, fill this out. Child, he wouldn't got a red pen or a crayon or some shit and wrote it. He was just honoring like that, right? So I think again his sister helped him find a place, but I had put him out though. He had to go. That's what happened. Yeah, I'm just tired of being like that. Yeah, it does. And like I said before it was over, that last year, I went to the doctor with him. He had a brain tumor, but it was growing slowly. It wasn't affecting anything, but it was growing slowly, right? So, Yeah, a lot of shit happened to him. But anyway, y'all, I got to get over here to the license plate. I don't know what to expect because I'm down south. Shit done run differently. If I got to stand outside, that's why I got this turtleneck. If I got to stand outside, I might go live, y'all. So just watch out. I might go live. But, I got to get over here and see what I got to do. I got everything I need. I got my passport, my birth certificate, my social security card, some mail, my ID, pay stub. I got all the shit I need. So I'm about to see if I can go cross over this license thing and be a Carolinian. I'm about to say Canadian. Be a Carolinian, right? So, y'all, thanks for participating with Jackie with a Q. Y'all like, share, comment, subscribe, cash app me, please. And I'll see y'all tonight. Today, Wednesday. I'll see y'all tonight at 8. Bye-bye.